Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. Hope you're doing okay. This is Coach Katie here, flying the flag solo this week. Now, this week's topic for our podcast, yes, we have a podcast if you didn't already know. It's called the Running Hub Podcast. You can find it on Apple, Google, Spotify, all of the popular podcast platforms, or also through our Instagrams. The links are all on there. So this week's podcast episode is about how to get faster. So I thought, why not jump onto YouTube and recreate this as a video for you to watch at home with the 10 different tips on how you can become a faster runner. We're going to jump straight into it. Number one, and I think it's something that's overlooked, is actually understanding how, not how, but like be more specific with how you want to get faster. You can't just say, I want to get faster. We've all heard of SMART goals, and this is about being more specific, it's measurable, it's achievable, it's realistic, and it's time-based. And that's what it's something which we don't do enough of, is just say, yeah, I want to get faster. Okay, but what distance do you want to get faster over? So, because training for a 5K and training for a marathon could be two different things. You could just say, I just want to see my pace improve on the 5K loop that I do every Wednesday with my friend. I want to get faster for that. Or I want to get faster because I want to be able to go and join a different club run with my friends. So I think step one is really understanding how you want to get faster. Then it becomes more achievable. Then you can carry on with these other steps. And also then with time-based, you've got a time frame for it. Obviously other things can get in the way sometimes of that. But if you've got a time frame, then you can go on to step number two, which is to have a structured plan. So once you figure out how long you want to sort of maybe take to achieve this goal, you know, if it could be a marathon, it could be a year. If it is, let's say, get faster over 5K, it could be 6 weeks, for example. I don't know. So once you know that, you then can create your plan, which is going to be tailored towards what you're trying to achieve in the time frame that you've got, and it's also personalized to you, because you need to take into consideration what your current training looks like. You can't just be running twice a week and then jump into a plan which is 5 times a week. In 3 weeks time, you're either going to feel burnt out, demotivated, or injured. So the plan needs to be appropriate to you, appropriate to those goals that you're also trying to achieve, and also to make sure that it's gradually progressive, so that you're working week on week, you're seeing those improvements, and you're able to progress, rather than just kind of like being like, yeah, I'll put that in here and I'll put that in there. There's actually got some structure, it's got some purpose, it's got some meaning, and it's going to get you those stepping blocks to get faster. Number three, and it's something you might hear quite a lot: consistency. Consistency is queen, or consistency is king. Consistency is key to this all. And it's just, personally for me, I said this myself, you know, for the last 5 weeks since I've been back from my hen do, I have been very consistent with my training again. Things are kind of falling in the same place. Like having a routine doesn't necessarily create consistency, but that does really help. So I have certain days where I do certain things. Obviously I have to change things around sometimes, but I'm doing the same things week in, week out, progressively, going back to point 2. And I now feel fitter. I'm using the same effort in training, but getting faster results. So it just goes to show that 5 weeks of consistency, I'm not like anywhere where I kind of really want to be. I'm not at my top goal or anything like that. But in 5 weeks, by just showing up to my training plan, I can feel the difference already. So just consistency, that is going to be anything that's going to get you the most results. Because if you run twice one week, nothing the next, 4 times the next, then 1 time, then you're just not allowing yourself to get the training benefits that you really need to see those results that you're after. So yes, consistency over everything. Number 4 is just speed work. I was trying to think about how I can just, you know, say like, oh, to get faster, you need to run faster. Yeah, that's right. But intervals and speed work are going to be amazing for building speed, because your body needs to get used to running faster. I love intervals because of the variety it brings to training as well. You get to run for a short burst of effort, then you get to take the recovery, and then you get to go again. So it can actually be quite a fun way. A lot of people do really enjoy intervals for that for that, because you get that nice endorphin hit from it, and then you get the recovery time in between after as well. But if you're working at your top end speed, you're then just going to help improve the rest of your speed as well. You're working in that top training zone, which is really beneficial to building speed. And you're also going to be, your body's going to start to feel like, if you're doing, say for example, 400 meter repeats at 5k pace, your body's going to understand what that pace actually feels like. So when it comes to your 5k race effort, you're going to know what it feels like at that pace, and you're going to understand the feeling of it rather than going in blind and having to constantly look at your watch. So there's lots of benefits to intervals and speed training. They don't have to be done on a track or anything like that. You can just do them. You could do them on a loop. If you've got a stretch of pathway, you could just run up and down. But again, the intervals and speed work needs to be relevant to what distance you're trying to get faster for, because then you might be working, if you're doing marathon training, some of your intervals might become a bit longer in length, but if you're doing a 5k, then they could be quite short. Intervals can be time, can be distance based, can be based on pace or by effort. But yeah, there's so much we go into it with that. But yes, intervals and speed work. To run faster, you've got to run faster. Which, number 5, brings us on to our tempo and threshold runs. So these are a bit different. These are another form of speed work. However, it's more of a steady state run. And how we like to describe them at the Running Hub here is running, especially tempo runs, is running comfortably uncomfortable or uncomfortably comfortable. One of the two. It should be comfortable, but also uncomfortable, but comfortable enough that you can hold it, if that makes any sense whatsoever. So tempo runs was, again, it can be based on pace, or it can be based on effort. So for us, a lot of the time we kind of get people to work within the half marathon to marathon sort of pace region. Again, just so you can understand what that feels like, so that when you get to race day, you kind of know what effort you need to be putting in. Again, not having to constantly look at the watch, but it's really beneficial from both a physical and a mental aspect. We find that from a mental aspect, if you're running uncomfortable, you're mentally building that resilience that you need for race day when it gets harder. Because to run your best, to run a PB, you need to run the best that you've ever run. You might go into some really dark places on race day, but so that's what those tempo and threshold runs do, is really help to build that mental resilience and get used to being uncomfortable in training. Also, from a physical aspect, it's asking your body to work more efficiently, but working to a tempo threshold is more like a race effort, so it's just a bit harder than a tempo effort, but it's where you're working at a level where your body is producing lactate, but your body's also able to remove it at the same time, and that's where the efficiency comes in. So yeah, you're just getting your body to work in a really efficient state, work in that different training zone, which will help benefit. Which brings us on to number 6, and this is a whole different training zone, and this is really like where it all mixes in. So number 6 is about keeping the easy runs easy. So if we talk about our top end speed with our intervals, or working in the higher zones, if we're talking about our tempo and threshold, we're like mid to top zones, and the easy, obviously the lower heart rate zones. And this is what we want, is we want to work on your aerobic base, and it can be really overlooked. And so I know I just said, like, to run faster, you need to run faster, but also actually to run faster, you need to run slower. It can be really difficult to do that, to run easy, but it's something that once runners really nail, they really notice the difference, they enjoy their easy runs a lot more and really see the difference. Running it from like 5k to a marathon is very aerobic, so you need that aerobic base. And so if you do keep those easy runs easy, it's going to help you to promote recovery, it's going to build that aerobic base that I keep talking about, it's going to allow you to then run harder on your hard days, and as well just enjoy and soak up those easy miles. You might have heard the 80-20 rule, so 80% of your training week should be easy, 20% of it then is harder. And so that's what we want to be doing, is keeping those easy runs easy. We don't want to be tipping into like the grey zone, that you're kind of like not sure what training zone you're in, because you're not going to get any benefit from it. And that's what sometimes we like to call junk miles. So make sure you keep the easy runs easy. Just a few ways to kind of understand if they are easy enough. You should be able to hold a conversation. You shouldn't be gasping for breath or anything like that. It might not feel particularly easy when you're on the run, for example, if you just feel quite fatigued, but it should be an easier effort, should be quite relaxed, should be fairly comfortable, and it's sometimes can feel like a bit of a jog. I don't like calling, like, because whatever pace you run at, you are a runner to me, absolutely. But compared to sort of like your faster paced efforts, it might feel a lot slower than that, but that is fine. Keeping it easy is really important, but to a point that it's efficient. If you feel like you slowed yourself down too much, that things start to creak and start to hurt, then you're probably then sort of overstriding, or your cadence is not right to kind of compensate for that. But yeah, just keep those easy runs easy. Your heart rate should be on the lower scale. I'm not going to say it should be this because it's going to be different for everyone else. Yeah, sometimes people say under 150, but again, I'm not going to use a scale for that. But yes, 6, keep those easy runs easy. Number 7 is strength and conditioning training. Here at the Running Hub, we are huge on strength and conditioning, and it's something which has really benefited me over the years. It's kind of one of the reasons why I got into running coaching and personal training, is because I always got injured when I first started running. I ran everything too fast and didn't do any strength training, and always just found myself on the injury bench. Once I introduced strength training into my routine, oh, look at that, I was injured less, or if I did get injured, I'd come back quicker. So we really encourage people to do strength and conditioning training. It doesn't have to be like really heavy gym stuff. If you can do some stuff like that, then absolutely fantastic. But if not, you can do stuff at home with some functional weights that you've got, with resistance bands, and we provide online classes through our membership. Yeah, so like I said, if you can't get to a gym and do an hour's worth of strength training, why don't you do 10 minutes 3 times a week? That's going to be so much, it's better than nothing, I always say. Rather than saying, I haven't got time for it, make the time, even if it is 10 minutes worth of resistance work. Before you go out for a run, it can add, it can be your conditioning training, but also part of your activation warm-up for your run. So make sure you include it. Once you do it, it's going to help you prevent injury, but you're also going to feel a lot stronger on the runs. Like when people start doing strength training and a month in, they're like, I can really notice a difference on my run. I'm like, no way, I've been telling you, and I've been preaching this for years. Genuinely, if you don't know where to start, then do come and join the Running Hub. We have live classes, and if you can't attend the live classes, we have an on-demand library and workout section, so you can just pick a class, play along, follow along, and there we go, include it in your routine. Next up, number 8 is to build your volume. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean you need to run more. Again, we're looking at that 80-20 rule, but it could be that you include some extra cross training. Again, to get faster, you want to build your volume, build that aerobic base, which is going to make those runs feel easier when it comes to running faster. For someone that wants to get faster for their 5K or their park run, just by turning up to park run every week isn't necessarily going to get you faster just because you keep turning up every week. I know I said about consistency, but if you build that volume where you're then running 6 or 7K once a week, you're running further than the distance that you're trying to do. That doesn't always apply for marathons. That then 5K distance is going to become easier. So that applies for most things up to sort of like half marathon. If you're doing further than that distance, that's going to help, but just building up your overall volume, it works. That's why, I'm not telling people you've got to go and do 40, 50, 60, 70 miles a week, but if you can just build that volume up gradually, progressively, you're going to see the difference long term. I now, on good weeks, I average sort of 40 to 50, and that's kind of where my good mileage is. I can't go at 50 miles all year round because that's normally because I've done a super long run, but I used to train off of 20-30, and I've seen huge differences by more hovering around that 40 to 50 mark. Okay, number 9 is to trust the process. This is why we build a time goal into it sometimes, because you can do 3-4 weeks of training and you're like, I'm not seeing the results that I want to. Also, when you add in training load, you build fatigue, so you might not see the results in those few weeks. You've got to adapt rest, recover, and see those results later down the line. But yeah, just don't be disheartened because it doesn't happen overnight. You might see other people on Instagram, Strava, YouTube seeing results, but you don't always see what's behind the scenes. You don't see the realities. And also, when you first start, you are going to make results quite quickly. When you're someone like me that's, how many years have I been running now? 10 years down the line. You know, I've had a rough couple of years. I'm still, you know, I have to keep layering on these training cycles. It's not going to just happen. I'm not going to be back to my PB there again. So I work on more season's bests for the last couple of years. But for me, running is so much more than just, yes, I love to see progress and I love to get faster and I love to see the results, but for me it's about the process and I love it, and that's why I put my full trust in it, because I know that it works. It's a big thing that we say is just trust the process, but genuinely, seriously, trust the process. It's like the same thing with the gym. You know, some people go for 3-4 weeks, they don't see the results they want and they stop. But with running, you just need to keep at it, stick with it, love the process, trust it, and it will happen. And then last but not least, number 10, ways to get faster. And it's a lot of the things I've been talking about is in relation to training, but this is where we want to look at the 1%. These are the things outside of training which are going to help give you those extra benefits. Things like your sleep, your nutrition, hydration, kit you're wearing, your mindset. There's lots of things that we could be doing to help give you that edge, because if you do some fantastic training but your mindset is pants, you're going to be lining up on that start line saying I can't do it. And we all know what happens. If you tell yourself you can't do something, more likely than not you're not going to be able to do it. But if you tell yourself I can do it, or I'm going to give this my best shot, what's going to happen? That's most likely going to happen. And then what? You're going to get your PB, or you're going to get faster. So mindset is a huge thing. Sleep is also really important. Now, I can't sit here and preach and say like with sleep, because I appreciate not everyone's in the same situation. Some people have got jobs which require them to be up early. Some people have got children that get them up early. But if you can try and improve your sleep in any way, even if it's going to bed 10 minutes earlier and you get 10 minutes extra sleep, that's 10 minutes extra of recovery time that you're getting that evening. So again, I know that I can't preach about it, but if you're someone that knows that there are ways I can improve my sleep, use them and you'll recover quicker. And again, you'll be able to train harder, you'll recover better, and you'll see the results that you are after. Nutrition. It's quite a simple one. If you know that you're not fueling your sessions correctly, or you're not setting yourself up, if you're not fueling and you're running out of energy on your run, then, you know, let's look at your nutrition. Quite a simple, well, not a simple thing at all, because nutrition is not simple, but it can be thing. Again, it's those little 1%. I'm not saying we need to change drastically overnight, but if you can do all of you just move the dial 1%, you're going to keep edging closer towards that target that you're after. So yeah, mindset, sleep, nutrition, hydration. I did have something else in the back of my mind. Oh, kit and stuff. So not saying that shoes are going to give you the edge. Sometimes they can. So there's obviously carbon plated shoes. Again, another topic for another day. But if you are wearing your favorite kit and you feel like, yes, I love the shorts that I'm wearing and I love this vest that I'm wearing, and oh, I've got my favorite pair of trainers on, you're going to have that mental edge and you're going to feel good when you rock up to your training runs. So yeah, think about what kit you're wearing. You don't want something which you know that's going to, you know, chafe or rub or that's uncomfortable. Don't wear your uncomfortable kit, especially when you wanted to, you know, go for your PB or something. So just give yourself that extra edge with your kit. You know, we've got our new Running Hub training wear, which I'm loving. It's a simple thing. Kit, trainers, you know, trial different things. Find what works for you, as we like to say, and it might give you that extra 1% on race day. So yeah, lots of different small little things that you can do to help you get those extra gains, as we like to say. So just to finish off, just to recap, those 10 ways to get faster, or 10 things, 10 tips, 10 things you can integrate into your training is: number 1, decide in what way you want to get faster. Number 2, have a structured plan. Number 3, consistency. Number 4, speed work and intervals. Number 5, tempo and threshold runs. Number 6, keep the easy runs easy. Number 7, strength and conditioning training. Number 8, build the volume. Number 9, trust the process. And number 10, think about those extra 1%. It could be, I'm not going to ask you to try and integrate all 10 things today, tomorrow, or next week. It might be that you take a couple of those things, blend them together into your training, or slowly layer them into your training to help you get faster. But it could be that you're doing 6 of these already, but those extra 4, actually, I could take some stuff away from this and put it into my training. So I hope this helps you, and I wish you all of the success and luck on your journey to becoming a stronger, fitter, and faster runner. If you have any questions, then please pop them in the comments below, James, and I would love to answer them for you. And if you have any questions about, we offer one-to-one coaching. If you do want to get faster, if you want to plan towards your next race or training goal. And also we have our Running Hub membership, which covers everything about running. We have lots of classes, live sessions, monthly workshops, videos, resources, all in there to help you become a better, well, like we say, stronger, fitter, faster runner. So I'll leave some links in the description box, and we'll see you in another video very soon.